Hi everyone, today we are doing notes on proportions and perimeter. So our essential question is, how do I solve proportions and perimeter problems? Okay, so first let's define what a proportion is. It is when two ratios or fractions are equal. Okay, so what we have in the numerator and in the denominator, that is equivalent to what we have in the numerator and denominator of another fraction. So the steps that we're going to take are cross multiplying, and that is diagonally. It kind of looks like a butterfly. Maybe you learned that in elementary school. Distribute if necessary, and solve the multi-step equation. So I'm going to go ahead and start cross multiplying. I'm going to get 390 equals 15m. Then I want to solve for my variable, so I'm going to divide by 15 on both sides, and so I'm going to get m equals 26. All right, in this next example, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to do 5x times 9, which is going to give us 45x. It doesn't matter which side of the equal sign you write it on. And then I'm going to do 30 times x plus 1. So I'm going to put that 30 on the outside of my parentheses, and in my parentheses, I'm going to put x plus 1 because I want to multiply 30 times the x and times the 1. Okay, so now I am first going to distribute, so I'm going to multiply the 30 with each term inside the parentheses. So that's going to give me 30x plus 30, and then equals 45x. I have variables on both sides and I don't want them, so I'm going to subtract the smaller variable, which is the 30x. And so that gives me 15x equals 30. And so I'm going to divide by 15. And then I'm going to get x equals 2. All right, I'm going to kind of do the same thing for the next one as well. So I'm going to cross multiply. And when I do, I notice right now that I'm going to need to distribute again. So I'm going to put the 2 on the outside and the n plus 30 on the inside of the parentheses. And then on my other side of my equal sign, I'm going to put 14n. So I go ahead and distribute, and I'm going to get 2n plus 60 equals 14n. Now I am going to subtract the smaller variable, which is the 2n. Okay, I'm going to kind of draw an arrow because I don't have enough room. So I have 60 equals 12n, and now I need to divide by 12. And so I get n equals 5. You should really write it with the variable in the front, so the best way to write it would be like this. All right, let's go ahead and do the last one on this front page. So we're going to cross multiply again. I need to put the 14 on the outside and the p plus 15 on the inside of the parentheses. And then I also need to do 42 on the outside of the parentheses and p minus 5 on the inside. Okay, so for this one, we're distributing on both sides of the equal sign, but that is a-okay. We can do that. So I'm going to give the 14 to the p and to the 15, and that's going to give me 14p plus 210 equals, I'm going to give the 42 to the p and to the negative 5, and so that's going to give me 42p minus 210. Now I'm going to look for my smallest variable and go ahead and subtract it. So the smallest one is the 14p, so I'm going to subtract that on both sides. I'm going to draw an arrow up here. And so when I do, on the left-hand side, I'm left with 210. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to have 28p minus 210. Okay, I want the variable by itself, so I need to add 210 to both sides. When I do, I'm going to get 420 on the left and 28p on the right. And so I'm going to divide by 28 so that I can get my variable by itself. And when I do, I get p equals 15. And you really should write it with the p in the front. There we go. All right, so on the back we are talking about perimeter, and perimeter is the distance around a two-dimensional shape. So my problem says the perimeter of a rectangular pool is 98 meters. The length of the pool is represented by the expression 2w plus 1. And the width is represented by w. Find the value of the length and the width of the pool. So first I need to draw a rectangle. Okay, and I know that the perimeter equals 98. So if I was to walk around this pool, it would be 98 meters. The length, which I'm going to label here, is 2w plus 1, and this is also the length. The width is just represented by w. Okay, so what I need to do first is I need to add these up so that it's going to give me a total of, if I was to walk around the pool, I would have a total of 6w plus 2, and I know that this is equal to 98. So now I'm going to solve like I would any two-step equation, and I'm going to subtract 2, and I will get 96 equals 6w. I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides, isolate that variable, and so I get w equals 16. So that's my variable, but that is not the answer that they wanted. Okay, so that represents my width, but it doesn't represent my length because my answer is asking, my question is asking for both the length and the width. So I need to do a little bit of extra work to find that length, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the 2w plus 1, and I'm going to substitute the w for 16 because I just found out that it is equivalent to 16. And so I'm going to have 32 plus 1, and so my length is 33. Okay, so both of these answers are important. All right, so my next problem says the perimeter of a picture frame is 92 centimeters. The length of each side is represented by the expression 2 parentheses x minus 3 parentheses, and the width is represented by 4 parentheses x plus 1 parentheses. Find the value of the length and width of the picture frame. So we're going to go ahead and label this. Okay, and so the length is 2 parentheses x minus 3, and the width is 4 parentheses x plus 1. This isn't super accurate because like we're probably going to get a bigger number for the width, and typically like the length is longer, but that's okay. So right now I have parentheses in each of these sides, and I have a number outside. So before we even get started with this one, I want you to distribute. So we're going to totally rewrite this picture frame. And so when I distribute, I'm going to get 2x minus 6, and that's on both of these lengths. And then when I distribute for the widths, I'm going to get 4x plus 4, 4x plus 4. And I know that the perimeter is equal to 92. So I need to add up all of these values and set it equal to 92. And then solve for the length and solve for the width. Okay. So, so 2x minus 6, 2x minus 6, 4x plus 4, 4x plus 4. This is going to give me 12x minus 4, and that is equal to 92. So I'm going to solve for x by adding 4 on each side. So I'm going to get 12x equals 96, and when I divide, I'm going to get x equals 8. I'm not done because I know what x is equal to, however, I don't know what my length is equal to or my width is equal to because none of the sides are just like x, whereas in the previous problem, we already knew the width once we solved because the width was just w. So now I'm going to plug in or substitute. Let's do my length first. So instead of writing a 2x, I'm going to write 2 times 8 minus 6, and I'm going to get 16 minus 6, and so my length is 10 centimeters. Okay, and then for my width, I'm going to plug in the 8, and so I'm going to get 32 plus 4, and so that's going to give me 36. Okay. All right, good job, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day.